Yo guys, welcome back to my channel. If you've not done it already, subscribe to Gamers Boxing, like the video, do all of those amazing stuff. Thanks for your patience, guys. Oops, but yeah, hopefully you guys can hear me all good and you guys can see my beautiful face. Big up, big up, big up every single person that tuned in. Big up to you that done for. Last week we had an amazing intro. I think last week Saturday on was it the Marshall? No, it was the Conor Ben versus Christian Beck Jr. fallout, and there was there was a lot to talk about in that video, and therefore that one a lot of people tuned in. I really appreciate it, etc. Speaking about tuning in, bruv, I don't know whether you guys had the chance to go on my Twitter. If you haven't done it already, actually I should get him up here. Actually, hey, completely forgot, guys. Yeah, if you haven't done it already, head over to my Twitter page because right now, bruv, I don't know what's happened. Right, I usually just do a couple of tweets here and there, simple ones. But fam, this one I'm gonna share my screen. You don't know exactly what I'm talking about if you're on my Twitter, but this one in particular, share screen, bruv. Share system audio as well. Share, boom, bruv. Never in a I do say never in a million years, but never in a million years would I have ever thought I would put out something that all of a sudden would get 94.7k views. Like, what the flip is going on? Bruv, it was absolutely manic. Fam, this whole time, yeah, like, bruv, do you know how much people have just been literally quote tweeting this shit? I'm thinking, what the flip's going on? Including Clarissa Shields. I was thinking, fam, what the hell? Mad. That so I do apologize if because I filmed this on my phone. My phone starts buzzing about a bunch of times. I have no idea what's going on. Anyway, big up you for done for boxing is in the mud. Well, after this weekend, I think this is kind of the weekend we need to revive the sport. Okay, I'm going to go through a lot of the stuff that's going on this weekend, from the UK and abroad, because there are shows. Well, there is a show in Australia on the Sunday evening, which in a weird time zone means that in the UK that would come off at what same time as if you're watching an American card. It's a bit different, but without wait a couple of more minutes. But all I'm saying is that this week has been absolutely total nuts. Total nuts. I don't know. That's a weird way of saying it, but random boxing news because this was some of this was unplanned. The random boxing news part. Floyd is fighting Deji. I like Deji. I'm a huge fan of Deji. You know, but watching Deji alongside KSI since probably for the best part of 10 years now. For the best part of 10 years, I've been watching them to grow from from doing videos in their bedroom to do videos with their families, etc. And grow that in that manner. At the same time, I was watching Floyd in a completely different realm simultaneously. Never would I have imagined that they'll be getting in the ring sometime. It's absolutely bonkers. Absolutely bonkers. But Floyd is retired. I'm here for it. Like if I was Deji, I would get in the ring with Floyd. Put it that way. Payday. Floyd is not, with all due respect, it's hardly Deontay Wilder, which we're going to talk about later on in this video. But he's hardly Deontay Wilder. He's hardly a Mike Tyson. He's going to, or Canelo Alvarez. He's going to lick off your head, yeah, and leave you with some serious damages. He's just going to jab move, hit you with timing. You're barely going to feel. You are going to feel the punches, but you probably would have felt harder punches. Put it that way. And if he's an older guy as well, he's going to take it less seriously. Hopefully you guys get the gist. Another bit of random news, which it's random, but it's not random. It's random, but it's not random. Conor Benn, well, the British Boxing Board of Control have released a statement saying that they're going to investigate the Conor Benn adverse finding. Not being funny, but that's like saying it's cold in December. That's like saying the skies are blue in summer. This is like saying flipping like my name's OTC. Like, bruv, I'm not being funny, but we kind of know this already. Do you understand? Eddie Hearn's name is Eddie Hearn and he's related to Barry Hearn. If you understand what I'm coming with, yeah? They're just stating the obvious. And I personally believe that they're not fit for purpose, but at the same time, I do understand the concerns of their funding. There is a lack of funding. They're not signed to a broadcaster necessarily to get their money through commissioning fights, but they really get their money as of when big fights occur in the UK specifically. If big fights don't happen in the UK, they don't get a lot of money. So it's kind of like a triple down effect. And I'm going to speak about that as well. Eddie Hearn, I think we will start in the next 3 minutes, right, in terms of the preview for this weekend. But touching upon Eddie Hearn shows, I was looking at it. Once he announces the AJ fight in December, and there's no other fight scheduled or anything that's going to happen from now until the end of the year other than the AJ fight, Eddie Hearn would have had 13 shows, UK shows, in what is 12 months. Now, there are concerns that, okay, yeah, but, January, there was no boxing shows in the UK. Only in the UK, I believe. You could have it in the US, but not in the UK. I think it was a pandemic. There was a reason for it. Why wasn't it? I think something to do with either pandemic or the football schedule and the ability to hire medical staff. One of them two. Regardless of that, it was around the same reasons. But that's not good enough. And if you think about it, how many of them have been pay-per-view shows? None. UK pay-per-view shows for Eddie Hearn since the turn of the year. I don't think there's any. I do not think that Eddie Hearn has produced a pay-per-view show in the UK this year, to my understanding. Someone correct me in the comment section below. I'm sure some of you guys are already aware of this. 0, yeah. Think about it. The only people who would probably be fighting on pay-per-view were the YouTube boxing stars. They were under Sauerland. Was AJ, but AJ was in Saudi Arabia, so it's not AJ. And Canelo Alvarez, but Canelo Alvarez is based out in America. Dillian White fought on the Tyson Fury show, which was with BT, and Frank Warren. Chisora and Pulev was on the Zone, regular DAZN subscription. No, I think that was on the pay-per-view. I could be mistaken. But I think it was either on the DAZN subscription or pay-per-view, one of them two. But after that, there was no other UK pay-per-view shows in the UK for Eddie Hearn since the turn of the year. That's poor. That is poor. That is very, very, very poor. And I expect better from Eddie, to be fair. I said that in the tweet that went viral. I expect better from Eddie, and I got called for that, Bruv, what do you expect from Eddie? Fam, he's a snake. He's a rat, fam. Fam, what's going on, fam? 2 notifications. Like, what's this about? bruv. See, people don't like this. Is what I'm saying. People don't like Eddie Hearn. Anyway, is Chisora versus Fury signed? No. No, but they not officially. Not officially. But I think it's like 95% done. That fight, I think the press conference for that fight will happen on next week, Wednesday or Thursday. That's when the press conference for that fight will take place. After listening to Frank Warren himself, that's when it's going to happen. So if you schedule the press conferences, we all kind of know that it's happening December 3rd. Arena, I'm not too sure of. I don't think it's going to be the Principality Stadium. I think it's going to be. I think they're looking at London. They're trying their best to figure out a London venue for that. But to my understanding, that fight, if it's not, well, personally, if I think it's signed, it's probably only signed today, and we've not heard news. So give it a couple of days. Put it that way. Now, fam, it's been a shit week of boxing for the last couple of weeks for Eddie Hearn. But speaking about boxing, we've got, bro, this is how peak it is. We've got 4, I would argue, numbers-wise, big shows. Yeah, 4 big shows, boxing shows, maybe some a bit more celebrity based, but regardless, they are, I would class them as big ones because the numbers that it's generating, you can't call it small, regardless of whether the boxers have experience. There are 4 big shows, 2 of which are in the UK and 2 of which are abroad, and none, I repeat, none are with Eddie Hearn and Matt Trim. The only one with Eddie Hearn and Matt Trim is an Australian card that's happening. I don't know, but I am not, bruv. I'm sorry, but I'm not tuning into that. I do apologize to all my Australians. I love my Australians, but I do not know who Pavo, Jarvis, these men are, bruv. Yeah, these down under flipping crikey, mate. Dons are. I must say, yeah. I do apologize, but I love my Australians, you know. But at the same time, with all of these other boxing cards and boxing shows on, I can't duplicate myself. Yeah, so we're gonna preview, and also these guys, they're big, but they're not super big. It's a bit like a chicken before the egg, to be fair. But regardless of that, you understand. Why is Floyd fighting Kwasi? Bruv, you are wild. Kwasi. Anyway, Mr. Quartic, bruv. He's done out here, fam. He's done out here. This geezer is done out here. Oh my god. But let's not get into that. But Deji's a cool. Do you know what? I like Deji. He's way over his head, but I understand. I'm not mad at it. I do sympathize with it. But on the boxing weekend, where do we begin? We'll start off on the UK side, okay? Now, we'll talk about the Misfits card first, and the Misfits show first. There are a couple of names that I'm aware of, but we're not talking about big people here. Zanetti was on the card. You had people like, you had one of the TGF bros on the left-hand side versus this nutter on the right-hand side. KSI promoting the card. You've got a P-Star, you know what I'm saying, like the lady of the streets, you know, on the card, well-known Chelsea fan as well. It's not as big as what I would have liked it to be, but at the same time, I do admire their consistency. This is the second show that they've had in about a month, 2 months or so, 6 weeks, since the last one. So they try to keep this YouTube thing going, keep it under one big umbrella. I understand it. I'm here for it. And I've got no real qualms about that specifically. We will be doing a watch along for a lot of the UK shows and US shows, but it will be a case where the timings are all over the place. So I might be watching two cards and two shows at the same time. We've done this a couple of weeks ago with the DAZN card and not Lucas Brown, the other geezer, the other New Zealand geezer. What's his name? Joyce versus Parker. We done it with Joyce versus Parker and the DAZN card. And so I personally believe that it's going to be a similar case. It's exciting though. You do miss some of action from each fight, but you ain't really gonna miss too much, especially if the timings are cool. But first and foremost, big card. Let's get straight into this one in particular. And if you guys have any predictions, put it in the comment section below, or in the chat. I'd love to hear what you guys are saying. We have, well, do you know what? We'll talk about this one first. We have Alicia Baumgardner versus Mikaela Mayer. This one has gone off. Everyone's talking about it in the boxing world specifically. A lot of people are very, very intrigued about who's going to win this fight. You've got the skill and the technique of Mikaela Mayer. You've also got Baumgardner, who, I'm not going to lie, in her last fight against, was that her last fight or was there a fight between? But when she beat I forgot her name, Terry Harper. When she beat Terry Harper, it was, wow, what a knockout. It was nominated in the Off the Canvas Boxing Award ceremony as Knockout of the Year, and it was a female boxing card or female boxing fight. And there's not a lot of female boxers that can produce that level of a knockout to the extent that it could be nominated as a knockout of the year. So absolutely remarkable performance from her. Mikaela Mayer had a good performance against Hamadouche. Irrespective of that, I do believe that technically Baumgardner is of a higher level to Hamadouche and any other opponent that Mikaela Mayer has come up against. And therefore, my personal belief is that I think this is going to be a cracking fight, and it's going to be oh mate, I'm more excited about this fight than the main event. Yeah, I'm more excited about this fight than the main event because of the intrigue, because of the profile building from Alicia and the rivalry that these two ladies have amongst themselves. You've seen it in the press conference where they kicked each other. Well, Mikaela Mayer kicked Baumgardner. Oh, sorry, the other way around. Baumgardner kicked. I'm just, you know what? I'm going to say that by the first name because last name is going to throw me off. Okay, Mikaela kicked Alicia. Let's call it that. Mikaela kicked Alicia. And it was, yeah, I was like, wow, she's really got under your skin. And personally, if I have to predict between Alicia Baumgardner and Mikaela Mayer, I'm of the belief that I think Mikaela Mayer is the real stuff. Not Mikaela Mayer. But, bruv, my head is gone. I need to drink some water, fam. It's like I've got cuss, bruv. I don't know. It's all this Conor Benn stuff. Hold on, let me get some. It's all this Conor Benn stuff. It's doing my head in, bruv. Man, thing. But yeah, let's go back to your comments because yeah, I'm gonna need a mental break from because Eddie's rattled me. Eddie's got my head gone. I've got Alicia to win. Well, I think a lot of people do. I don't know whether it's a personality reason or whether people believe that she can knock out, Mikaela Mayer. My personal belief on this fight between Mikaela Mayer and Alicia Baumgardner, I believe that Alicia Baumgardner wins this fight on points. It's tough because I do see Alicia Bogardner knocking down Michaela Mayer, but at the same time, I don't think Michaela Mayer, because of the animosity, because of the hatred towards her opponent, I do not believe that she will stay down for eternity, and therefore I believe that Elizabeth Gardner, through the volume of punches, through the couple of knockdowns that occur, I believe that she's going to win really convincingly on points. I think her power is frightening. What she's done against Terry Harper, I'm sorry, but if you could do that, a couple knockdowns, it's not out the picture. And therefore, I believe personally that Elizabeth Gardner will win against Michaela Mayer by way of points. I don't think it's going to be I don't think it's going to be stoppage anytime soon or anything early. Okay. Speaking about stoppage, Hannah Rankin lost to, what's her name again? I completely forgot. I forget. Apologies, ladies. I forget their name, bro. Savannah Marshall. Savannah Marshall has coming off a good win against Hannah Rankin. Is it? No, I'm getting mistaken from another fighter. Surely I am. Surely I am. Hannah Rankin. Not Rank. Hannah Rankin. I'm pretty sure Hannah Rankin lost to Terry Harper. See, I'm getting these two mixed up. I've always been getting these two mixed up, to be fair. They sound very similar. Like if I heard them both on the radio, I'll be like, is that Savannah? Is that Terry Harper? I'm not too sure. But let's give the ladies the respect that they deserve. Savannah Marshall versus Claressa Shields. This is going to be a cracker, a barnstormer of a fight. You've got US versus US, or UK versus USA. You've got the two girls that fought in the Olympics. And maybe some may argue it's controversial, but regardless of that, Savannah Marshall did win that fight. But the pro career, which is how they're fighting, is a completely different ball game. This is a division, or this is a sport in women's boxing whereby Claressa Shields can be deemed as the pound for pound number one, or pound for pound top three, or top two. Top three. You can argue pound for pound best female fighters of today. Okay, she calls herself the GOAT from Michelin, and for me, I personally believe that her skill set underrated, very underrated. Oh my god, the timing, the movement, the IQ, it's like remarkable. Her footwork, her ability, her defense as well. I barely see her getting caught flush regularly, to be fair. Maybe in early part of her career, but recently, not really seen it too much. In contrast to that, you've got Savannah Marshall, who I'm happy for her. I'm very, very happy for her. She's grown as a person. She's grown into confidence. She's grown as a human being. And I am happy for her. I do believe that she is an amazing champion. And I do believe that she has an amazing skill. She's got power, unquestionable power. Oh my God, the last girl she knocked out, God damn, because the second round, my goodness gracious me. It was, wow. And at the same time, you've got to give Savannah Marshall her credit. After leaving Matchroom alongside Peter Fury to then go on to Boxer, make a name for herself, come out of her shell, I was like, bruv, how many fighters are like this? How many fighters are like this where, Eddie does a lot of the talk about? They can, like, if you give them the time, you give them the platform, you give them the watering that they need, they will come out more. And that's what you see in Savannah Marshall. And I'm happy for her. But this is a boxing fight. She's up against this is an undisputed bout for the WBC, WBA, IPF, WBO, and the Ring Magazine belt. And for me personally, you've got to look at it from a pure boxing perspective. Whether you like this person or not, whether you like their personality, it doesn't matter. For me personally, it's very, very difficult to look past the growth. And if I have to predict the fight between Savannah Marshall and Claressa Shields, it'll be difficult to go against Claressa, undisputed world champion. This will be her 12th title fight. She's got a record of 12 wins. Oh no, that's Savannah Marshall. Claressa's got what? I've got it up here. Claressa's got a record. Very similar record, actually. Yeah, very similar record. 12 wins. Okay, 2 by knockout. So I think you guys get the gist that this is not going to be a complete blowout from actually they both had the same record. This is weird. 12 fights, 12 wins, 0 losses, 2 by decision and 10 knockouts, whereas Claressa Shields is the other way around. So my final prediction between Claressa Shields and Savannah Marshall is that I believe Claressa is going to win this fight. It's going to be on point. I don't think that Claressa will put a dent in her, maybe put her to the ground or anything. I just think that it's going to be a point scoring exercise. And I think it's going to be if I have to describe it as a fight that it could play out like, it could be like, if you remember a couple of months ago, you saw Serrano versus Kate Taylor. It will be something very similar where it is very close. Okay, very close. The round and each part of the round, it could go either way. But I do think those championship rounds, I think Savannah Marshall might do an Usyk or a Lomachenko and just start stealing those last 3-4 rounds. And therefore, I think that Claressa Shields is going to win this on point. Now, I don't, on this channel, if you guys are new to the channel, thank you, welcome, subscribe, like the video on the way in. Amazing stuff. I don't predict split decision, unanimous decision, because I am not predicting whether they hire brain dead referees. That's not up to me. But I'm gonna score it myself, and for me, I think Claressa's gonna win. I don't think she's the. Well, actually, you know what? There is a case that she's the greatest female boxer of all time. And she can make that argument, you know. She's had what, 12 title fights, or something like that. And you've got to give her credit where credit is due. Olympic, so she was the gold. No, she's an Olympic. Is she an Olympian? Yes, she was a gold medalist. I'm pretty sure she's a gold medal in the London 2012 Olympics. Gold medal in the Rio de Janeiro Olympics. There's levels to this, man. There's levels to this. Did I watch that? I did watch the amateur fight. Personally, I believe that Claressa won that fight, but it was rather close. So I'm happy to concede, but I do believe that Claressa did win that fight, and therefore in this fight for me, I've got Claressa winning this one. I don't think it's very difficult to argue against it. So my final prediction for Claressa Shields, Savannah Marshall, Claressa Shields by points, and she'll walk out from this. I do hope that they become friends, but the GOAT, in my opinion, will remain as the GOAT. And thank you very much, guys. If you guys are tuning in, like the video, subscribe. We're going to talk about the American card. I might drop the link in the meantime. If you guys want to jump on, you're more than welcome to jump on. Before I speak about the American card, or whilst I'm speaking about the American card, give me your intakes on some of these fights. I'm pumped. Like, we get back to real boxing, fam. None of this Eddie shit, fam. I'm pissed off at Eddie, fam. Big man thing. It's long. But Eddie, well, he's got in my head as well. Speaking about another individual who may be pissed off at Eddie, is my boy. Well, I don't know if he's my boy now. I've started to warm to him. Are you not warming to him as well? Is my guy Deontay, the Bronze Bomber Wilder, versus Robert Helenius. Now, Helenius is not an amazing fighter. I would argue to put him in my top 20, top 30 heavyweights in the world. He's not the best. From hands up, he's not great. But at the same time, I do believe that Wilder and this new energy that he's got, I think is a force to be reckoned with. I think Deontay Wilder has still got a lot left in the tank. I think he's about 37 years of age, 36, 37 years of age, and he has got a lot left in the tank. How much after the 3 beatings, or the last 2 beatings that he's got from Tyson Fury, I don't know. Inactivity included in that as well. How much is left of him? He'll be fighting a guy who's just coming up, or he's had a good win against Adam Kownacki. And Helenius, for me, is a tough guy, very durable guy from Finland. You know, a Finnish guy. He's not Finnish guy, but he's from Finland. So, for me personally, I'm hopeful and I'm excited to see the return of Deontay Wilder, because he was speaking this week. He wants AJ versus or the AJ fight in Africa. I think he means Nigeria, because a lot of America do speak to this group, the whole of Africa together. But regardless of that, I do believe that it's going to be a really good fight. And do you know what? Deontay Wilder, you've got to give him credit. You've got to give him credit where credit's due. How many fights has he been in that's been boring? Has been, this is dry, dead fit? Not really much. Because you're sitting there in anticipation for that right hand. And therefore, for me personally, for what was it? 43 wins, 42 by way of knockout, or 41 by way of knockout, because he lost to the last 2, and he drew against Tyson Fury, and everything else he won. I think it's a 100% knockout ratio in the rest. 100% of the rest. So he's got a very, very good knockout ratio. It was Adam Kownacki. 2 Adam Kownacki wins for the Finnish heavyweight back to back. I think it was October 2021, which is a year ago, and before that it was March 2020, which is a year and a half before that. That's a bit of inactivity there. Then he fought a year before that in November. This guy had since 2019 until now, he would have 4 fights in what appears to be 3 years. That's not a lot. That is not a lot. Robert Helenius is a game fighter, very good fighter, but he's at the tail end of his career. 38 years of age. Deontay Wilder's not a spring chicken himself. I think Deontay Wilder is 37. Let me just double check. Yeah, Deontay Wilder is 36, actually, born in 1985. His birthday is October 22nd. Mad. He's got his birthday in 7 days. 6 days. This is recorded on the 14th of October, so it's 6 days. But for me personally, my final prediction between Wilder and Helenius, I'm going for a knockout. I'm going for a knockout win for Deontay Wilder. Round number... I do believe that he'll try a couple of new skills that he's learned in the gym, show off a bit before try to dismantle him. So I'm going to say round 5. A round 5 KO win for Deontay Wilder, and then he'll potentially move on to the AJ fight maybe, or Andy Ruiz, something like that. I don't know, but a good fight afterwards. Ruiz maybe for him, if I was advising him, Ruiz then AJ in Nigeria. Build up that fight. Then AJ in Nigeria. After that, if you beat AJ in Nigeria, Usyk, go for it. It's a good fight. That's a good route for AJ. Similar, almost identical route. To be fair, going there with a Kaunaki, Hellenius, same shit, different toilet in terms of the level that they're competing at, the way you rank them. Then go on to fight the likes of a top 10 guy. I don't know. Who's top 10? What? Either Hrgovic, Zhang, AJ's fought a lot of them, to be fair. You got to give him credit for that. Hrgovic, Zhang, Dillian Whyte rematch. Good choice. Then after that, Deontay Wilder. After Deontay Wilder, title fight. See, bruv, these men should take, they should take my advice from Big Man because that is for both of these guys, perfect route. For Deontay Wilder, he could take this route and get, irrespective of whether he wins the title at the end of it, he would have probably beaten a couple of decent names on the way there. Therefore, you got that, and after that, for him, repeat that one more time and retire. Depending on how physically and mentally he's there, cool. For AJ, you could do that a couple of more times, rinse and repeat. Top 15, top 10, top 5 / title fight. Go for it. And I think that's a good option. But like I said, my personal opinion, KO, round 5, easy. If Wilder adds a body punch to his bag, it will be mad for the division. Absolutely. He did learn that in the Fury, or the camp that he done for Tyson Fury. It was a short camp, though. It was a very, very short camp at the same time. So you've got to give him some level of compassion for that. And I do believe that if he works in it, it's been a year, and he does that against a Hellenius, who's what? Hellenius is how tall is he? I've got it up here. Hellenius is, he is quite tall, to be fair. Hellenius is 6'6", 6'7". So that's an amazing option. Hellenius is durable as hell, but Wilder's got the punch knockout of ages. So you got to give him credit for that. And there is an undercard in that one, but you've got Caleb Plant versus Anthony Dirrell. For me, in that fight, I have Caleb Plant winning it points. We're not really going to touch up on that fight because I'm not a huge fan of Caleb Plant. Not my cup of tea. Yeah. He's decent. He's probably a decent guy, but not really my cup of tea. In terms of his fighting style in particular. And lastly, this is one I am pumped for. Bruv, do you know what? I shouldn't be pumped for this one, but I am. Devin Haney versus George Kambosos. Now, I know you guys are saying he beat him before, what's going to change? I do believe that George Kambosos will come out more. Pause. He would try to assert himself in the ring a lot more. And that last fight was very entertaining. If George Kambosos does that, we could potentially have a KO on our hands. Or somewhat of a TKO. That remains to be seen. But I also do factor in that Haney can be seen as weight trade. I don't think he could make 135 as easy as he probably would have liked. And therefore, my personal belief is that I think Devin Haney may struggle for the weight. And fight very similar game to the first fight. If I have to put it down to a final prediction, I'm sticking to my guns as previous in the last prediction I did. Points win for Devin Haney. For me, I think he's one of my favorite fighters of 2020 or of today. To be fair, he to me he's one of my favorite fighters, and I want the best for him, and I want him to really come home with the belt. Well, he's not coming home like you get he's in the US, but you get the gist. Bring the belt back, to home soil, and I do hope that he wins, beats George Kambosos, who for me a little bit of the wrong game plan, but George Kambosos was like a 7 out of 10. Haney was like a 9 out of 10. So it's very difficult, irrespective of whether George Kambosos would have came out. He would have to be punch perfect to beat Devin Haney. That's the level that we're talking. That's the disparity. Skill difference is literally you'd have to be 100% to be in with an opportunity to beat Devin Haney. After this, Devin Haney can then go on and fight Vasily Lomachenko, whoever. We don't talk about matchmaking in the lightweight division because I'm gonna get a headache. I'm gonna need paracetamol. You're gonna need paracetamol. We want to keep a clear head. This is positive vibes. Let's go. Okay, that's what I'm talking about. And for me, I'm happy that Bill Haney has the ability to go there, no problems. Part of what happened before that kind of worked in Devin's favor is that Bill Haney there did come, and it was that he's here now moment, and you don't really get that in this fight. So is that going to give Kambosos a lot of fire in his belly? This is the first time he's probably ever lost in his career. To my understanding, I don't think that he's lost a single fight prior to this. Hold on, let me just check Kambosos. George Kambosos Jr. I do not, to my understanding, he's not had a single loss in his career after 20 fights. Prior to this, he's not lost a single fight, and he's beaten, Mickey Bay, Lee Selby, Lopez as well. Albeit Lopez was a bit that night. If you know what I mean, you know what I mean. Man thought he can go in and just do whatever he wants to do and hope and expect to win. Like, brother, you dumb. Like, you actually skunked. That's the level we're talking about. And yeah, that has been a little quick roundup of all of the main ones. If I start going deep into the undercard, brother, I'm gonna be here for a hot minute. And yeah, it's gonna be long. But what fight are you guys most excited about? Are you excited about the Alicia Vanguardia versus Mikaela Mayer fight? Very, very, very spicy affair. Are you more excited about UK versus USA Shields versus Marshall fight? The GWOAT versus what's Savannah Marshall's nickname? We'll come up with a nickname. What's her nickname? I don't know. We'll come up with a nickname. See, I'm not gonna lie. Out of Savannah Marshall and Clarissa Shields, if I had to think about who would I get along with more, I'll probably get along with Savannah Marshall more. Maybe because she's from the UK. Maybe it's cold. Even though we share similarities with Clarissa, I do believe that I'm probably a little bit more culturally relatable to Savannah Marshall, weirdly, and that's the UK culture that that we're born in, etc. So, for me personally, Savannah Marshall, Clarissa Shields, I have Clarissa winning that fight. Points win. Mikaela Mayer versus Vanguardia, likewise. Points win, same thing for Alicia Vanguardia. But I also think that in that fight, it's going to be one or two knockdowns. You heard it here first. Misfits card, we'll tune in, but fuck, I'm saying, fam, it's mad. Like that'll be in the background. There'll be some circus in the background. What the fuck? My boy, Hailey, point to win. It'll be like tactical performance. Wilder Hellenius, Wilder knockout round 5. He'll show off his shiny little skills that he learned in the gym, you know, tutorials that he learned in the gym with that adult star Malik Scott. And I think that he will try, you know, try a couple of little things, overhand right, revert back to type, win 5th round stoppage. And that is Anthony Giroux versus Caleb Plant. Points. Again, I don't think it's going to be a lot of knockouts other than Wilder. And that's it. Caroline Dubois fighting as well. Big up Caroline Dubois. And a couple of Olympiads. You've got Sandy Ryan as well. It's going to be a good night of boxing. First women's card. We'll talk about more of it tomorrow. But big up Maestro as well. Maestro will show love and support out there from the NYC, the Big Apple. Shout out Maestro $8. And subscribe to his channel. I don't know why I put on the US accent. Shout out all of the US contingency. Pick up your man for as well. The Field Marshal. The Field Marshal. That is the name. The Field Marshal. I like that. The Fire Marshal. Listen. We got some good. We got some good names. And good amount of that we work. Looking forward to a weekend of boxing. Got a jam-packed weekend of boxing from US and UK cards. We'll be watch alongs from both. It's gonna be 2 times 2 watch alongs. We'll be watching. Well, the first one we're watching the women's card, Misfits in the background. The second one we're gonna be dialed in for both of those ones. So it should be the traffic. Listen. It's something Marshall, fam. You don't know what I'm talking about, fam. The Fire Marshal, the flipping Traffic Marshal. No one's gonna stop her. Nah, it's not got a ring to it. The Fire Marshal, fam. But she's putting out fires, so it don't make sense. We got to think of it. We got to think of it. We got to think of it. We'll come back to it. Probably our brainstorm come back tomorrow, fam. I do like shout out to G4S crew, shout out Danny from Fight Fan TV, and big up you guys as well. Doing amazing stuff in security. Field Marshal abbreviated as FM is the most senior military rank accordingly senior to general officer ranks. Usually it is the highest rank in the army. Field Marshal. Didn't know that. That is I didn't know that. Maybe I should know that. Bobby Wright is been in the army. A good friend of mine, Bobby Wright, has been in the army. 30. It's been a while. Like he's retiring soon anyway. Big him up as well. Field Marshal. I'm liking that. Field Marshal, fam. Nah. And she's here to regulate the ting. Listen. But her personality, she's more like she can have a couple. Savannah Marshall's that type. Okay, put it this way: if you go around Savannah Marshall's house, not on that team, but if you go on a friendly team, yeah, not on, you know what I mean. We're not going on that fight. But if you go around hers versus Clarissa, you go around hers. It's gotta be a vibe. It's gotta be a vibrant. It's gotta be dancing. It's gotta be like laughing loud. It's gotta be jokes. Yeah, it's gotta be a vibe. Yeah, couple of nice food as well. It's gotta be Michelin star like cuisine. Yeah, auntie cooking. It's gonna be a vibe. And and it's gonna be jokes. Yeah, gotta be jokes. But if you go around Savannah Marshalls, I'm telling you, it will literally be like a calm, chilled vibe. Like you're chilling at your nan's, cup of tea, you know, having a bit of a chin wag. And she's not even speaking, she's just sitting there listening with a cup of tea, couple of custard creams. That's the vibe we're on. If you know what I'm talking about, that is that like, and weirdly, it's a different personality type between the pair of them. But I don't know why I was speaking about going around their houses. We don't want to do that, guys. Guys don't have any ideas. There's some weird people in this world. Anyway, wake up and she's marshalling the field, the division. I like it. I like it. This is what I'm saying, bro. This is what I'm saying. This is what I'm saying. Personality is regal, like a royal. Do you know what? She is, you know. She is. She is. But at the same time, I get like, when I listen to Savannah Marshall, I get like granny vibes. Weirdly. Like, I don't see her as the type to throw like mad parties, do like mad, well, I would say athletic stuff. She does boxing, but outside of boxing, I can't see her doing a lot of extravagant stuff. She's more like laid back, chilled, you know, cup of tea, nothing too special. You understand? What she watches is not some flipping effed up serial killing madness. She's not into that. She's into EastEnders. She's the EastEnders one. OK Magazine and a couple like OK Magazines on the side. These. That's the vibe we're on. That's the vibe we're on. Yeah. And the only time you'll hear her complaining in her life will she be moaning to the council that the bins aren't taken out on time. Do you know what? That's the vibe we're on. I can't lie. But she's up against an elite fighter in Claressa Shields. So fortunately, she is going to get her ass not handed to her, but it's going to be really good because Claressa's going. It's going to be more, but she's going to like go for it a bit more than in her last couple of fights and be a little bit more hungry in this fight because this is personal. She lost to this person. Well, in a pro and amateur career, this is the only person she's lost to. Madness. Well, big up every person as well. Royal, but this is for the Elizabeth belt. Her Majesty. Do you know what? That weirdly, it may have a ring to it. The Royal Marshal winning the Queen Elizabeth II belt, or the Elizabethan belt, or the flip. That's what WBC called it. From the Elizabeth belt in cover, in remembrance of Her Majesty, the Queen. Yeah, the Royal Marshal, and she's defeating the Guo. If she calls herself the Queen, bruv, the Royal Marshal, the Elizabeth belt. Do you know what? I think you might have to. It's either Fire Marshal, Royal Marshal. We'll do a poll or something like that. Anyway, big up every person in the chat as well. Both on YouTube and on Twitter as well. Except she has a thick working class accent. She is from Newcastle. I think she's from Newcastle. She's from the northeast. Let me just. I've got it up here. Savannah Marshall's from the northeast. I'm pretty sure. She sounds like she's from the northeast. Yeah, Marshall's from Hartlepool, from the northeast of England. She attended. She's from. Yeah, Hartlepool, Durham, which is near Newcastle, and northeast of England, not too far from Scotland, to be fair. But yeah, big her up as well. No, we don't like Rose, fam. I know Masha. Yeah. Do you know what, Masha? This is fitting though. Weirdly, it's fitting. You got to think about it. But then it comes to that level of connotation. The Rose done a madness, and if King Charles does a madness as well, yo, it starts getting, you don't want to be called a queen anymore, or they'll it'll be known as the royal. Nah, stop. Fire marshal it is. Fire marshal it is. Her nickname, I got it up here on Wikipedia. Her nickname was Silent Assassin. Nah, gee, nah, we're locking that off, bro. You are the fire marshal at this point. You're here to regulate the thing. Yeah. Tell you, the fire marshal. Hopefully she doesn't have family members that unfortunately passed away in a fire. If that's the case, so we got to figure out something else, guys. But anyway, I want the Martin Luther King belt. Tell Merchant Sullivan. The MLK. Nah, I said that. Oh, bro, I don't know if Master remembers. I remember it. I meant the MLK belt when I was on their show talking with Kenny Ken. Not Kenny Ken, Kenny T. What fight was that? Dubois. That it was that one. I remember we talked about Dubois, and I said that was for the MLK belt. It was a fight for freedom. Probably was a madness. I'm a Marxist and a union man. Interesting. They should have never cancelled the card. Yeah. Was there football on that weekend? No, there was no football on the weekend. Not UK football. Like there was no football on the weekend, to my understanding. But they stopped some sports to quit. It was weird. But we kind of go football in the UK. We mainly got football is the main sport, and so if that gets cancelled, most other things will get cancelled. There are a couple of niche sports here and there, golf and fishing, but a lot of things are not even football. To be fair, I think the troops were cancelled for like a day or so. There was another thing cancelled. A lot of things were cancelled that day. The BBC broadcast came out and they said, yeah, unfortunately, Her Majesty passed away. So it was a bit of madness. It was a bit of madness. I actually flew out the day after she passed away. Lucky for me, I did. I missed all of that nonsense, bruv. Big man thing. They also killed Diana, bruv. This Undefeated podcast is some censorship, and rightly so. But here, fam, chill. Yo, we could talk about this, fam. Yeah, I believe that this was the case. I agree. I believe that not a lot. Some people may argue that's a conspiracy theory. I believe that is a theory that is more than likely plausible, especially with the reasons that these men have. I don't think Her Majesty took her out. I think it was probably someone else, but I don't think it was the Queen. I think the Queen is one of them aunties that cleans stuff up afterwards, but it's not the one to do the dirt. Most, I don't think there's a lot of things that she's personally. Well, she did protect her son, who's a nonce, but it is the son, and it's a bit technical. It's a bit technical, but she does. She's that, the mafia bosses that they're not here to cause trouble, but if trouble comes and one of the people around them causes trouble, they'll step in and say, you know what? All right, man. Well, we'll sort it out. How much is it gonna cost? And then they nice it up. They're one of them ones. Not that I really like them. I just say there was cricket. Yeah, absolutely. No, they did it like Diana. And the press here was ripping her a new one. Oh my goodness. Oh, when I look back at it, because I was really young at the time. I think when I was born, it was about a couple of months after she passed away. And when I was younger, really young, I kept hearing it a lot of times. Even now, that was like 4 or 5 years after. I still kept hearing Diana. To this day, she was the darling of the UK. Like how would if she was born in 2022, who would she be like? She would be like I don't know. Maya Jama. Classic. Bruv. Maya Jama is a mad one. There's got to be someone. I think I would say she'll be like Maya Jama. Yeah. She was the Maya Jama of the UK. Yeah. A lot of people liked her. But there's not a lot of girls like that in the UK anymore. That they're disliked by the establishment. There's guys, but there's not a lot of girls, really. Nowadays it's a bit more. They keep that shit to themselves, and they censor people. The only men take. Yeah, I remember that. They censor me big time. Undefeated. The only man taking female hormone drugs are identified as women. Unfortunately, there has been cases where women have fought biological males on drugs. I agree. I think it happened to. Oh my god, there was a Spanish guy. Oh my god, so it's gonna bug me. It is gonna bug me. I remember there was a Spanish one, and they came over to the UK and fought, and no one knew until afterwards that who was that person? It wasn't Rianne Dixon. It was a UK female fighter that fought someone in the UK on a matchroom card that ended up being a bloke. Who was it? It was Shannon. I think it was Shannon. It was what? It's either it was one of these a lot, or was it? Or was it Chantal Cameron? It was. It was. I'm telling you, it's like we're very warm on this as well. But yeah, big up to yo. We ended up speaking about random political stuff. I might start doing a segment on political stuff, bro. But that will go left. That will go left. Well, Kwasi Kwarteng left to be fair today as well. Big up Kwasi Kwarteng, bro. Yo, he's doing the brothers like, bro. Big man thing. We're done out here in the UK, bro. We're done out here in the UK. Box Eddie's done out here. Politics, we're done out here. It is what it is. But boxing this weekend is going to be jam packed, and we'll be doing watch along on all of the. Susie Rahman fought a biological male calling himself a woman. Why is it bad for me to speak about this? It's not bad. It's not bad for you. It's not bad, but I do believe that in about 30 years' time, even though it's a bit mad, there'll be people that will be a lot more sympathetic to that. And they'll look back at us and be thinking we are crazy. There's another kid in 30 years' time that will look at us as if we're like some sort of like how people of our age probably look at the older generation that say that madness of madness, yeah, and think it's a calm. They'll be thinking like that. But yeah, it's a bit, and also as well in the UK, it's very if you speak about the political, not political, if you speak about the royal family, yeah, it's a bit, it's a bit mad. Trevor Sinclair, a guy who was on Talksport, I think he's a former professional footballer, played for Man City, West Ham, etc. Talksport pundit for years. I think 5-10 years. Was a pundit in general for years. Within a space of one tweet, sacked him. We've never seen him again. Sacked him. This guy, I think when Her Majesty passed away, the day later, he said black and brown people should have mourned her death because of basically historical reasons as to what the royal family have done in our homelands, etc., and the thing that or the crimes that they've committed. Right message, okay, I agree with the message, and a lot of people agreed with the message, but a lot of people also say it was the wrong timing, and so they yanked him off. They yanked him off. Yo, R.I.P. Bruv. Oh my god, there's a bag of people. Wiley. Oh my god, how many people got cancelled that? It's madness. Evening, guys. Whoever jumped in, we're talking. We're talking about cancellations in the sport world and in general. Big up, you know, if you guys are new here as well. Quarting or setup, fam. I have a feeling that that may have been the case. I have a feeling that may have been the case. Because there are ways to set people up without really setting them up. You know, people who are, for example, if there's people more qualified to be in that position than him, instead of actually being in that position, they may just sit there and say, you know what, I don't trust her, and I think she's dead for you. So you know what, I'm gonna fall back. I'm gonna fall back. I'm gonna say, yeah, I can't be asked. I'm not doing this shit. Yeah, she, you know, self explodes. Lo and behold, she picked the wrong person for the wrong job, effectively. Okay, did each other's goal with this, or they're just afraid to speak. They're, it's understandable from their perspective, because I have to also understand that, fam, they be cancelling people in the UK in our community, bruv. Yo, we are a minority. Like in America, it's a bit different, especially in New York, etc. It's a bit different, but here we are minority. If we start talking out like that, yeah, bruv, they will be quick to dispose of us. Big man thing. Oh, you seen it? Wiley within a space of 24 hours. Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, music taken down, everything locked off completely. He was off. He's the only person that I'm aware of that's officially cancelled. Not even Andrew Tate's cancelled, but Wiley cancelled. They took him off. They took him off. And Trevor Sinclair, another one. They took off. There's a bag of people like this. Yeah, these man, yeah, they're relentless as well. And I think a lot of people agree, but it is a dangerous line to go through. And also as well, these man, I hate to break it to you guys, there's some of these people in big places that would have you basically disappeared. I'll leave it as that, guys. Bearing in mind, guys, I am not suicidal. So if you guys, anything happens, guys, you don't know what to do, fam. Yeah, I am not. So if these men try to do all of this madness, you man know this. Big up and big up KD, big up Travis as well. They got a show in the UK November the 28th. I think it's on a Friday. Big them up as well. They are quite as unsensitive, to be fair. But you're talking about certain topics, yo, the bag is locked off. These men know, and I'm not really bad at it. I kind of, to an extent, I kind of make an exception to that. In 30 years' time, people are going to look back at this era as people have lost their minds. Politicians have refused to say that a man can't get pregnant. Politicians are nuts, bro. You know what? I've noticed these men have got no integrity. Zero, fam. Yeah. This lady, yeah, this new prime minister. Okay, as far as I'm aware, she set out in everything she done. I want to do this. Cool. Ended up getting in office, done all of that. Started going tits up, pound drop, and she said, "No, fam, I'm flipping the script. I'm listening to everyone else. I'm reversing the type, bruv. What kind of foolishness is this? Like, this is why it's very difficult to trust them, fam. A lot of them, they come up with some random mandate. Yeah, they say, yeah, this is my mandate. This is my flipping. This is what we're gonna do. Yeah, this we're gonna do. Number one, protect it, bro. They will list it out specifically. Yeah, and if you look at it 5 years time, bro, they've not even done half of it, fam. The list is not even, and the two that they may have done, or three that they may have done, it's not even like, it's not even huge margins, like huge movements. This is what we've got to deal with. These are people that break their promises consistently, and it's very difficult to trust a single one of them. Very out of touch. And you know what? Speaking about that, I got to touch upon Eddie. Like Eddie's got to be careful not to slip down that rope or slip down that slide of being seen as someone who doesn't have integrity, because if he does that, it's very difficult to rebuild yourself afterwards. Very difficult. Irrespective of if you want, we've got three. Do you know what? The YouTube boxing fight will probably generate a lot of numbers. So I'm classing that as big as well. We've got David Haley, Savannah Marshall, Misfits, and Deontay Wilder fight. And they're not even promoting one of them. To my understanding, they've not had one UK pay-per-view fight in the UK until now. Well, until they've not even had it at all this year. One UK pay-per-view fight. And when I mean UK, I'm talking about the fight actually took place in the UK, not broadcasted in the UK. A fight that took place in the UK that was actually a pay-per-view fight. I don't think there was a single one for Matchroom this year. I don't think there's a single one. I'm going to go on the website. I do not even think there was a single one, because every pay-per-view fighter that Matchroom has fought on other cards or other countries. The lot of them. I'm going to go on their actual. This is poor, man. I expect better. They will be having 13 UK fights in 12 months after the AJ fight is announced. You know how shit that is? That is poor. That's not even like. Bruv, like, come on, man. Okay, got it up here. Load more. Surely this can't be all the cards. Okay, cool. Perfect. Thank you very much. Jacobs Ryder, Coley Sislek. Wood Collar was a good fight. Got to give him credit for that. And that was in Nottingham. Big up Nottingham. Again, US. New York card. Vegas card. Boatsi versus Richard Adrian. I was there. It was a good fight. O2. That wasn't a pay-per-view fight either. Pulev. Bruv. Again, not even a pay-per-view fight. Golovkin, that's US. Bruv, this is not good, bruv. This is not good. The only UK fight pay-per-view for literally this year will literally have to be the AJ fight. Will be the AJ fight on the zone, ironically. Imagine if Mbappe took Essendon and played in a women's game, bruv. Mbappe, yo. To be fair, I don't think there's. Yo. It's too far gone. I think there's a rule actually. I don't think you can be a professional male footballer and then become a professional female footballer. I don't think you could do that. I think it's according to FA rules. I could be completely mistaken, but I don't think you could do that. Sub OTC, big up Squared Circle, big up Rodale Thomas as well. Evening or Canadian Travel started to get TV appearances, so I don't understand from their career. Absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah, I think KG's he's doing a lot, man. Big him up as well. I think he's on Blood. He's on, I think that's season 3 now. He's on Ted Lasso. Travis. Big things coming soon. That's what I've got to say. Big things coming soon. Big up Miss Ringside as well. How do you see? Big up. Auntie Miss Ringside. Very knowledgeable on the boxing world. Very spiritual person as well. Big her up as well. And yeah, on to round it up. In general, I think it's been a poor year for Matchroom. Got to give them. It's been a poor year for their standards. Are they promoter of the year? If I have to give everybody a ranking, are they necessarily promoter of the year? Yes, man. We're gonna have to. Do you know what? By default, maybe. Although I need to look at Al Heyman's actual. A lot of Al Heyman fighters have fought this year. A lot of fight. A lot of them haven't even fought this yet. If they have, they probably fought once. So that's where it starts getting political, fam. Like, who's actually had a good? What promoter has had a good year? Frank Ward has had a good couple of months. Ben Shalom has had an okay year, could be better. Eddie Hearn, by his standards, quite poor. Top Rank poor. Ludabella poor. Kelly Sauerland actually had a couple. You got to give him the Sauerland brothers had a good stint, and they're having a good stint, especially with the Misfits card and the YouTube boxing, and that you got to give them somewhat credit for that. And that's two. You know what? That's two pay-per-view cards compared to Eddie's 0 in the UK. 0. It's not good enough. It's not good enough. Maybe Dillian Whyte actually could be coming up this year. That remains to be seen. But irrespective of that, we're going to be having a watch along tomorrow at, I would say, 8 o'clock, 8:30. We'll put all the news on the community tab and on my Twitter. So I was about to say subscribe to my Twitter page. Madness. There's no subscribe, but we're not naive. Well, we're not gonna go there. Follow me on Twitter. Follow me on Twitter. At Off the Canvas Box. Instagram Off the Canvas Boxing, and if you subscribe to the YouTube channel, on the community tab, I'm gonna have all of the updates on what time the watch alongs are. US, we're gonna do it early hours of the morning. If you guys are awake for the fight, probably gonna be around 2-3 a.m. in the morning. UK 8-9 o'clock in the evening as well, depending on when the card actually starts. Might push a bit sooner because there's a lot of good fights. Sandy Ryan, the Olympians. You've got the Caroline Dubois, Baumgartner versus Michaela Mayer. You've got big fights. So much love for all of you guys for tuning in. And yeah, until next time, guys, it's been a pleasure. It's been an absolute pleasure. But until next time, peace, love, and prosperity, and I'm gonna see you on the watch along tomorrow. Peace.